Today, I want to talk about Elaine from Seinfeld. I loved Seinfeld, and I'm sure it had mostly to do with Elaine. The biggest reason for this, of course, is just that she is played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who is among the greatest, if not the greatest, working comedic actor of our time. I also wrote a book about Seinfeld, and while I was doing the research, I learned that there's another very good reason that she is a feminist icon, and that's because she was written by a lot of men who really weren't worried about what her gender was. They just gave her story ideas kind of the same that they would give the guys, and this came a lot from their own personal experiences. That was what Larry David, their boss, wanted them to use. And so they just started giving these to her too. And I think it shows in the way that she really was equal to the guys on the show. One of the biggest reasons that she was so groundbreaking is because even on network television in the 90s, she was able to celebrate her sexuality. In the epic, classic episode, The Contest, she is able to compete with the guys and even does not win the contest, which means that she was not able to sort of control herself as much as the guys, which is a really big deal. The episode called The Sponge was completely centered around her and this discontinuation of her favorite birth control method, the sponge. The entire thing is about her sort of hoarding these sponges, and it coins this legendary term, sponge-worthy, for a man who is worth using your birth control sponge on. The episode called The Mango very much riffs on the movie When Harry Met Sally, which came out before the episode, but in it, she reveals that she faked orgasms when she was dating Jerry. And they really go on to actually prove When Harry Met Sally wrong, which I think is very interesting. The two of them remain friends throughout the entire run of the show, and there's very little sexual tension between them after a certain point. Is she the best character on Seinfeld? That's pretty hard to choose, but at least for me, I think she's up there. You know, George is obviously hilarious, but kind of clueless. Kramer is incredible, very, very funny, but kind of cartoonish. I don't think Jerry's in the running for this, I'm sorry. She's the most interesting. You know, she's nuanced. You kind of start to wonder as the show goes on, why is she hanging out with these guys? There's something very interesting about her that we don't totally understand, and that is what I love about her. And of course, as I mentioned, Julia Louis-Dreyfus herself, you have to admit that she has had the best post-Seinfeld career in terms of television. She starred on 2 acclaimed sitcoms, The New Adventures of Old Christine and Veep, and it is not easy to get even one acclaimed sitcom in your time, so to have 3 is pretty incredible. And Veep, in particular, truly was a game changer. She is a brilliant, beautiful, vital role model to this day, hosting her podcast Wiser Than Me, engaging in political activism, and being generally spectacular. And that is why I love both her and her iconic character, Elaine Benes.